Hey everybody, it's ACS125 and I've pulled the Pokemon website up and as you can clearly see, yeah, we're getting a Pokemon Direct tomorrow. This is the first time this has happened, I believe, and I wanted to make this video just because, I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to talk about what we could possibly be getting, and, I wanted to do something for this, because I was considering, and I still think I should, that I should make a video tomorrow, like, about what Pokemon means to me, because I have a long history with the franchise, and I mean, 23 years, man, it's getting old. Not old as in, oh, it sucks, no, it's like, man, time flies. I remember the 20th anniversary, and that feels so recent. It just feels so weird that in another 2 years we're gonna be celebrating the 25th anniversary. Dear God. But yeah, we're going to be getting a Pokemon Direct tomorrow, and I just wanted to discuss what I think is going to happen. And even though my thoughts are not all that complex and different, I still thought I should share them. So, Pokemon Direct. We're probably gonna get some new info regarding, but probably maybe unveil some merchandise and whatever. But the main focus is games. And the two things that people are looking for are Gen 4 remakes and Gen 8. My thoughts on those two are this. Gen 4 remakes, people have talked about for a long time that Gen 3 really didn't need to be remade because... And they do have a point, because Gen 1 was remade purely because of the fact that you couldn't catch them all anymore, so they needed to remake Gen 1 so that you actually could catch all the Pokemon, because they kind of screwed up with Gen 3. Gen 2 was... Also, they remade Gen 1 because of waning popularity due to backlash and franchise fatigue. So they wanted to introduce Kanto to a whole new generation of kids, as well as keep the older fans in by saying, hey, look at this, it's something you remember, but it's new. So that's why they did that. And they remade Gen 2 because, of course, the Gen 2 cartridges weren't working, as well as the fact that Gold, Silver, and Crystal had sort of been lost for a while. So yeah. And people are saying they didn't need to remake Gen 3. Well, Gen 3 cartridges had their batteries die. Like my Gen 3 cartridges, their batteries are dead. But that doesn't really matter all too much. And yeah, I guess so, but it's sort of a tradition now. As well, it's also neat. It's also important to make sure that newer generations know these older games. Because I know a lot of people who haven't played the original Gen 3 games, but they played Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and that's how they experienced Helen. I have never actually experienced Johto outside of the remakes, so these remakes don't just function as, ooh, look, it's something old that's new to the older fans. It functions as a gateway to these older generations with newer hardware to newer fans, who probably can't own a Game Boy or something. Gen 4... DS's, your 3DS can play it, but I want them to remake Gen 4 so badly, because Gen 4 has a lot of things I really love about it, but a lot of things I really hate about it. It's a very push and shove thing. I think it has the best Pokemon roundup of any generation. I love its roundup of Pokemon. Weavile, man, that is my favorite from Gen 4, but Palkia and Dialga are great legendary. It has a lot of really good legendaries now I think about it. Bibarel and Bidoof are the best joke Pokemon. I love them so much. Chatot is another great one, and of course we can't forget about Riolu and Lucario. Those Pokemon can basically be their own sub-series with how popular they are. And of course all the starters. I love all the starters. So I want them to remake Gen 4 because of all the things that I like about it, but also the things that I hate about it, and I want them to fix them. Oh, my computer's starting to go dark here. Because let's not kid ourselves. Gen 4 has a lot of freaking problems. And one of the biggest ones that I wish they would fix is the speed, because Gen 4 is slow. We all know that Gen 4 is slow, but it is it is a slog to get through Gen 4. I dare you, go back to the Gen 4 games and notice how slow they move, because they are really, really chugging along. So if we could get Gen 4 remakes, I think that would be nice. As for Gen 8, I don't want to call anything just yet for fear of not being correct, but there are a few things that I'm pretty sure that they'll keep. I'm pretty sure that they'll keep several of the things that they were introduced in Gen 7, even though I need to go back to Gen 7. I fully admit that I judged it too quickly and that I didn't really experience it all too well. I know a lot of people who really love Gen 7, and so maybe it's time that I need to go back to that. But still, there are a few things that they'll probably keep from Gen 7. They'll probably keep the Z crystals and Z moves from Gen 7, even though that was a mechanic I didn't really like. They'll probably keep it because they've really been pushing for it. I really hope they bring in new Mega Evolutions, because Gen 7, I'm pretty sure, had no new Mega Evolutions, and that really pissed me off. I just want new Mega Evolutions. I don't want Mega Evolutions to just be a thing that's around and dies. Mega Evolution is cool. I love it. I used to hate it because I thought that it was an underwhelming mechanic, most likely because they didn't really do anything with it after X and Y, and it was sort of an afterthought in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire as well. So I just want them to reinvigorate Mega Evolutions with a whole new set of Mega Evolutions for Pokemon that really need them, because some Pokemon really, really need Mega Evolutions. Really need Mega Evolutions. Other things that they'll keep, I think they'll keep some things from Let's Go. I don't think that they'll keep everything from Let's Go. Maybe they'll keep the catching system, I'm not sure. They'll probably run on a similar engine, if not completely the same engine as Let's Go. Because, you know, they had that engine constructed. They're probably not just going to leave it around waiting. And besides, I like the art style of Let's Go. I really do. I think it's a good balance between the chibi designs and more, you know, taller humanoid designs. Because I never liked the designs getting taller and more humanoid. I always loved the chibi overworld designs. But, you know, so that's another thing that I didn't really like about Gen 7. So I was glad when Let's Go went back to that, because Let's Go's art design is beautiful. Now, if only they would, you know, give it cell shading. That's the one thing I want from a Pokemon game. Cell shaded graphics. I need that. But, yeah, there's that. And so that's basically my thoughts on the matter. I don't know what else I can say about what Gen 8 or the Gen 4 remakes could bring. But, yeah, it's going to be debuting on Pokemon's 23rd anniversary at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which means I'm going to get screwed because I go to school at around 7:35 and I don't wake up until about 6, so by the time the Direct is going, I will probably need to be getting ready. And the bus leaves at 6:50, so it can't be too long of a Direct. I'll probably have to wait until after school to, you know, learn all the details about it. And I'm sure I'll be seeing a lot of stuff. Ooh. That's a new thing. That was not there earlier today. Because I actually logged on to Pokemon.com in the middle of school, actually. That's actually how I knew about all this. Hey, Numel! And Lunala, my favorite legendary from Gen 7. I love Lunala's design. It's a little bit overboard, but I still like it. But yeah, those are my thoughts on what they could bring. I know it's not the most, they're not the most crazy, outlandish thoughts, but I don't want to be too crazy with my thoughts. I don't think that they'll do anything too big. Maybe they'll do a Let's Go 2. I hope they don't do a Let's Go 2, because even though I love Let's Go to my very core, I do not think that is something that they should do, because the fan base may collectively kill them. But yeah, that is my thoughts. See you all tomorrow on Pokemon Day. Peace, everybody.